Yeah, guys, good morning. So let's start now. So I'm starting up. Guys, what is Azure Databricks? So let's try to understand what is Azure Databricks. So when we talk about the Azure Databricks, everyone, when we talk about the Azure Databricks, so guys, Azure is nothing but okay. It is the name used by the Microsoft. Hmm? Azure is nothing but it's a name used by the Microsoft to market their cloud services. To market their what's it? Cloud services. Okay. So Azure is the name used by the Microsoft. Okay, Azure is the name used by the Microsoft to market their cloud services. And when we talk about the Databricks, guys, okay, when we talk about the Databricks, so Databricks can be used. Okay, Databricks can be used either with the Azure or else with any other cloud provider, such as you can say Amazon, and such as we can say GCP, Google Cloud Platform. Okay, this all this we can use the Databricks. Now I'm using the Databricks for the Azure, so hence we call it as what? Azure Databricks. Hence we call it as what? Azure Databricks. So when we talk about the Azure Databricks, this is a cloud service, guys. Azure Databricks is a cloud service. So Azure Databricks is a cloud service which is provided by the Azure, using which we can perform the following operations. We can perform the following operations or following jobs, we can say. Okay. By using the Azure Databricks, we can perform the following operations or the following jobs, we can say. What is that? The first one is called as what's that, guys? The first one is called as what? The first one is called as okay, using which we can perform the following operations. The first one is what? Data migration job. The first one is called as what? Data migration. Then you have what? Data integration, data migration, data integration. Then you have data summarization, and then we have the data visualization. So these are all the tasks you can perform it by using the Azure Databricks. Okay. So now, guys, here here are the following tasks we can perform it. So we can say using the Azure Databricks we can perform the following task. Now, so let's try to understand all of them. What are all this basically? Okay. What is data migration? And what is the data summarization? What is data integration and data visualization? Okay. So to begin with this, okay. So let's try to understand before that. Before we understand all this, let's try to see something very basic. What is a cloud, first of all? Hmm? And what is an on-premises? What is a cloud and what is an on-premises? What is a cloud and what is an on-premises? Let's try to understand the same. What is a cloud and what is the on-premises? Okay, guys, what is a cloud and what's an on-premises? Let's try to understand this two first. So when we talk about the cloud, okay, everyone, whenever we talk about the cloud, guys, what is a cloud, first of all? Hmm? What do you understand by the word called cloud and what do you mean on-premises? Okay, let's take an example. So everyone, are you there, guys? Are you able to follow it? Am I audible, everything?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I want the session to be a bit interactive, guys, rather than me talking at a side. Now, let's see first of all what is a okay. Before we start with what is a cloud and on-premises, let's try to take an example here, guys. Suppose we buy a mobile phone. Suppose we buy a mobile phone. Okay. So whenever we buy a mobile phone, any brand it can be. Okay. Whenever we buy a mobile phone, any brand it can be. So whenever we buy a mobile phone, so now tell me, whenever we buy a mobile phone, okay. So whenever we buy a mobile phone, so by default, the mobile phone, whichever we buy it, okay. Whenever we buy a mobile phone, by default, whenever we take any mobile phone, okay, any brand, you'll get the mobile phone with some inbuilt data or inbuilt memory area. Okay. So let us say 8 GB is the RAM. Hmm. And next one, what you have it? Let's say 32 GB is the hard disk. That means what? The processing speed is 8 GB for the mobile phone, and whereas the capacity of storage is 32 GB. Now, guys, the next situation here is that means what? You can store up to 32 GB in your mobile phone. You can store up to what's that? 32 GB in your mobile phone. Am I right? Whereas now, guys, suppose you have some data, that is some you have taken some clips, there is a photos or videos, whereas the capacity of the videos is, let us say, 100 GB. So now tell me, can you store this 100 GB data? Can you store the 100 GB data, whatever you have it, in your mobile phone or not? Yes, guys, everyone, can you store the 100 GB data in your mobile phone or not? Yeah, not possible. Not possible, because the capacity of your mobile phone is what's that? The capacity of your mobile phone is 32 GB only. But you cannot store, yes, you cannot store what's that? All the 100 GB. So whereas what is the alternative generally we choose it? We try to add some SD card to your mobile phone. Yes, guys, we add some SD card to the mobile phone. So whenever we add SD card, let's say here, you have added some SD card. Okay. And the capacity of the SD card is 100 GB. Now, what is the total capacity of a mobile phone now? Yes, 32 GB plus 100 GB. 32 GB plus 100 GB is the capacity of a mobile phone. Totally amounting towards that 132 GB. 132 GB is the total capacity of a mobile phone. Now you can store the data like this. Whereas suppose you have 1000 GB to be stored. How many? 1000 GB to be stored. Can you store it? No. So again, you got 1000 GB of the data. Okay. Even after adding the 32 GB, that is a memory card, you'll not be in a position to add more 1000 GB. Am I right? More 1000 GB, you cannot add it here. What is the alternative? You choose it. Again, you buy a new mobile phone, or there is no SD card with that particular memory. That is something but 1000 GB memory card is not available. Whereas, what is the alternative? You choose it. Will you go for buying a new mobile phone? No, because buying a new mobile phone is quite expensive. So for that, what we do generally, we go with what's that? Google Drive. Yes, guys. Generally, we store the data in the Google Drive. Now you must be getting a doubt. The Google Drive has a capacity of 15 GB by default. That whereas, can you store the 1000 GB, guys? Rather than this, yes, yes, we can store it. But whereas the 1000 GB, we require to pay the cost. Pay the cost. Am I right? We require to pay the cost. Once you pay the cost, you can store the data to whatever the GB or whatever the capacity you have it. Whether it can be in a GB or it can be in a terabyte or it can be in a petabyte, whatever the capacity you have it, that you can store it in your that much you can store it in your, yes guys, that much you can store it in your Google Drive. So that means the Google Drive basically has no limitation to store the data. Am I right or not? Now, the second situation is that when you store the data in the Google Drive, now tell me, who is responsible for the security of your data? Who will be responsible for your security of your data? Yes, ultimately the Google will take care of the security feature you have it. So we can say Google. Google will take the that is nothing but security of your data. Whereas the next point is what? Yes, guys, accessing. Suppose you left your mobile phone at home and you have traveled to US. Can you access the data in US which is stored in the Google Drive? Yes, in fact, we can access the data in the Google Drive even if you are not there in a particular location. So we can say we can access the data from any that is location. We can say what's it? Access the data from anywhere. Whereas the third is that, yes guys, the third point is that unlimited storage. You pay the cost for whatever the capacity you want to store. You can store the data unlimitedly. Yes guys, you can store the data unlimitedly. You can store the data what's it? Unlimited data you can store it. Whereas generally as an individual we are preferring to store the data in the Google Drive rather than storing the data in the mobile phone, because the mobile phone has a limited feature. Am I right? That is, you can access the data only when you have the physical device with you. If you left your physical device, then you cannot access. Suppose you lost your mobile phone. At that time, what happens? You cannot access the data. Am I right? You cannot access the data. The data is gone forever. So, in order to overcome all these drawbacks, we always go for storing the data in towards the Google Drive. So, we can say that Google Drive. So, as an individual, we are moving from is storing the data in the mobile phone. We are storing as an individual. We are moving. That is something. But yes, to we are moving to store the data. Moving to store the data in the Google Drive rather than storing the data rather than storing the data in the mobile phone, because of the following reasons. What is that? Security reason, and the second is accessing reason, and the third reason is the unlimited storage. So unlimited storage. Whenever you have unlimited storage or all these features, we can get it on the we can all this unlimited storage, we can get it all these features, we can get it onto the this guys Google Drive. So as an individual, as we are moving it, the there is something but the business entities are also, or the business entity also realize the same, and they are moving from what is that? This guys, they are moving from what? Just please somebody put yourself in the mute mode. Okay. Okay. So now you can move. We are moving the data from the mobile phone to the Google Drive. We are storing the data in the Google Drive rather than storing the data in the mobile phone. So unknowingly, guys, what we are doing it, we are moving the data from the, what is that? We are moving the data from the on-premises environment to the cloud environment. Whereas your mobile phone is called as, what is it, guys? Your mobile phone is called as on-premises. Okay. So unknowingly, what we are doing, we are moving the data from the on-premises environment. Yes, guys. Unknowingly, what we are doing, we are moving the data from the on-premises environment to the cloud environment. So whatever the data we store it in the Google Drive, the data is called as what? Cloud data. So here we are, what we are doing, we are storing the data into the, this guys, cloud environment rather than storing the data into the on-premises environment. So here you can say, guys, here you can say storing of data in the Google Drive is called as what? Data on cloud. Data on what is it, guys? Cloud. Data on what is that? Cloud. Whereas whenever we store the data in the on-premises environment, we can say this is nothing but storing the data in a mobile phone, or just for your understanding, I'm telling you, in the mobile phone. So this is the process what we are doing right now. So whenever we move the data from your mobile phone to the cloud Google Drive, or whenever you move the data from the mobile phone to the Google Drive, this process is called as, what's it guys? This process of moving the data, this process of moving the data from the mobile phone to the Google Drive, from the mobile phone to the Google Drive, moving of data from the mobile phone to the Google Drive is called as, what is it guys? This process is called as, yes, data migration. It is called as what? Data migration. It is called as what guys? Data migration. So data migration is a process where we move the data from the mobile phone towards that, yes, cloud environment. It can be the Google Drive, or if you're using an iPhone, you can use the iCloud. All these are the things you can do it here. All right. So now guys, I think everyone is clear. Yes, I think everyone is clear with what is a data migration. So data migration is nothing but it is a process, guys. It is a process where, yes, it is a process where we move the data from the on-premises environment to the cloud environment. Okay, we move the data from the on-premises environment to the cloud environment. We move the data from the on-premises environment to the cloud environment. So hence we call it as what? Data migration job. It is called as what? Data migration job. So now guys, what is a data integration and what is a data summarization? What is a data integration and what is data summarization? Let's try to get through this one with the help of another example. Now guys, suppose everyone, what is a data integration and what is data summarization? Let's try to understand these two. Now everyone, let's take an example here. Yeah, guys, everyone is following. Please respond. Hello. Is everyone following? Yeah. So now, guys, okay. Now let us see what is the, yes, what is the data integration and data summarization. Let's take an example. Here is the example. What's it? So, guys, today, yes, I'm coming to that. What is the difference with ADF? I'm coming to that. Okay. So now I'll tell you, don't worry now at this point of time. Okay. I'll explain you all these things. Okay. So now guys, let's try to go ahead with what is a data integration and data summarization. So when we talk about the data integration and the data summarization, let's take an example. Suppose the task of the day, you want to cook a veg curry. You wanted to cook a veg curry. So guys, when you wanted to cook a veg curry, everybody, when you wanted to cook a veg curry, when you wanted to cook a veg curry here, yes, the task is that you wanted to cook a veg curry. So whenever you wanted to cook a veg curry, yes, whenever you wanted to cook a veg curry, what you'll do, the first task is that you will go to the market and get the vegetables. Am I right or not? Let us say, let us say you have been to a supermarket that is called as Reliance Fresh. Reliance Fresh. Now, whenever you go to the Reliance Fresh supermarket, tell me now, how many type of vegetables will be available there? One or two or many, guys? Yes, everyone. Whenever you go to the Reliance supermarket, you'll be having one or two vegetables or many vegetables you'll have it. So now let us say here the vegetable number one. Vegetable number one. This you got it from MP, Madhya Pradesh, India. And the vegetable number two, UP, that is India. Vegetable number 3, you got it from the Malaysia. And vegetable number 4, you got it from the USA. Okay. And vegetable number 5, you got it from the J&K, India. And vegetable number 6, you got it from the let us say, okay, okay, Tamil Nadu, India. So guys, let us say you have some 100 vegetables are there. How many? 100 vegetables are there. So whereas these 100 vegetables which are available at the Reliance Fresh supermarket are bought or are brought from various locations. Am I right? These 100 vegetables are brought from what's it? Various locations. And now these are made available to you. Let's say you have some 100 vegetables in the Reliance Fresh supermarket. These 100 vegetables are brought from various locations across the globe and kept it available at Reliance Fresh supermarket. Am I right or not? So that means what? These vegetables are what's it? Cropped and cropped or cultivated at various locations and brought here, or we can say imported here to the location. Let us say it is in Hyderabad. You bought it from various locations and bought it at Hyderabad. So now, guys, when you bought all these vegetables from various locations and made it available at the particular place, so can we say this is a process where the vegetables are brought under one roof? Can you say this process as a integration process, guys? Yes, integration. That means what? Yes, integration means what? This is a process where the various vegetables are brought from various locations and made it available at the Reliance Fresh supermarket for the facilitation of the consumers. For the facilitation of what? Consumers. Okay. Consumers. So we all are the consumers. Okay. So guys, these all are available. So now can you see here? Various vegetables are brought from various locations and made it available to the consumers to buy at the Reliance Fresh Hyderabad. That's it. So whereas the next task is that, what is the task of the day? You have to cook the veg curry. Okay, guys, you have to cook the veg curry. So cooking of this vegetable curry, do you require to buy, guys? Do you require to buy all the vegetables or few of the vegetables? Tell me now, guys. To cook this veg curry, do you require all the vegetables which are available in the supermarket to buy it, or you'll buy only those vegetables which are available? Yes, few are enough. Yes, obviously. Okay, few are enough to buy. That means all vegetables you don't buy it. Only those which is required for cooking or curry. So let us say here, you bought some. Okay, guys, you bought some vegetable number 1, 4, 6. Only 3 vegetables you have. You choose it. So can you say that this process, guys, can you say that this is a process of choosing of vegetables? Yes, choosing of vegetables. This process is called as what? Choosing of vegetables from all the list. You might be having 1,000 vegetables in the supermarket, but you will buy only what's that? You will choose only those which is required to cook your curry. Hence, we can say choosing of the vegetables. The next one. After choosing of the vegetables, guys, what's the next thing you have it? You paid the cost for the same and you bought them home. As soon as you bought them home, will you start? Yes, guys, as soon as you bought them home, will you start the process of eating or not? because as a human we don't eat the raw food. Am I right? We don't eat the raw food. So we have to perform some process before we eat it. What is that? The first one is what? Washing the vegetables, washing or cleaning, you can say. Then cutting or chopping, cutting or chopping, cleaning, washing, okay, cutting, chopping. Then what's that? You will have to perform the cooking. And once the cooking is done, once the cooking is done, then you will go with the process of what's that, guys? Eating of the eating of the curry. Am I right or not? So whereas this process of, can you see here, guys? This process of washing, cleaning, and as well as the cutting, chopping, can you say this process as what? Transforming, transforming of vegetables. Can you say this process called as what? Transforming of vegetables? In fact, that means we are transforming. That means we are changing the form from the raw form towards that cooked form. Am I right or not? So in the same way, guys, once the curry is ready, can you say this process as loading? Yes, in fact, eating process. Am I right? Whereas, guys, here the same thing happens here. If you replace these vegetables, if you replace these vegetables with the data, with what is that? Data, guys, with what is that? Data. So here, suppose the data is available at the various sources. Okay, the data is available at the various sources. That means the data is available in US, the data is available in the Tamil Nadu, the data is available in Malaysia. From all these sources, whenever you try to access the data and keep it at a place or access the data, so that is called as what? Integration of data. That is called as what? Integration of data. That means suppose in US the data is in the server, okay, some server, and the next one the data is somewhere, okay, in the Tamil Nadu. It is in in the form of files, in the form of a databases, in the form of a cloud. Wherever the data is available, you get all this data in under the one roof. So whereas whenever you get this data under the one roof, okay, for the that is nothing but facilitation of the user, this is called as a process of what? Data integration. This is called as the process of what? Data integration. This is called as the process of what? Data integration. It is called as a process of what? Data integration. This is called as a process of what? Data integration. Okay, guys. This is called as a process of what? Data integration. It is called as a process of what? Data integration. So once the data integration is done, what is the next process you will have it, guys? Once the data integration is done, what's the next process you will have it? You'll have the next process of what? Data summarization. Summarization. So what is summarization? So guys, in this process, data summarization is nothing but the same process we perform it. What is that? Choosing of vegetables, washing and cleaning, cutting, chopping of vegetables, and cooking of vegetables. Whereas if we perform the same task on the data, if we perform the same task on the data, the process here is called as what? Extraction. Extraction of data. Then the next one is what? Transformation of data. Then the next one is what? Loading of the data. So hence loading of data. So whereas hence this is called as what? In short, we call it as what, guys? In short, we call this process what? ETL. In short, we call it as what? The process of what? ETL. That is called as what? Extraction. Yes, guys. It is called as what? Extraction, transformation, and loading. Extraction, transformation, and loading. ETL. Okay. So whereas The same process, if we apply it on the data, it is called as what? Extraction, transformation, and the loading is the process which we call it. Okay, guys. Okay. So here, guys, here, what is that? So we have seen already what is that? What is a data migration? You know it because already we have discussed what is data migration. You know what is data integration, and even you know what is that? Data summarization. What is data summarization? And next comes into the picture called as what? Data visualization. What is data visualization? Let's try to understand this. Okay. I'm taking another example, guys. Okay. Let's take a live example here for this. Okay. So we will see all the, in this example, we will see all the process that is called as data migration, data integration, data summarization, all of them together, and data visualization, all of them together. Let us say here, you have a data of a supermarket wherein, guys, wherein we have the following. What's that? Let us say the product information, such as product ID, product rate, okay, product ID and product rate. This is available in the form of a table. Let us see here, guys, everyone. Product ID is something like this. Rate is 100. And let's see here, 200. Let's say 300. Okay. These are the, this is a data available in a table. This is available in a table, in the form of a table. Let's say this is available in the form of a table in some called what's it? Database or okay, system one. Whereas guys, the next table you have it. This is available in system two. What are the information you have it? There is number product quantity sold, and date of sales. DOS is nothing but date of sales. Let us say the product quantity sold is 10 and the date of sales is today's date. What's it? You have it 29/04/2024. 29/04/2024. 29/04/2024. Okay, guys, this is the data you have it. So now you have in two different systems is there, and this system is located at okay. Let us say this system is located in USA, and this is located in Japan. Okay, so now the data is available at two different locations. That is US and Japan. And now, guys, your task is to do get the net sales amount. Okay, your task is to get the net sales amount. Why? The supermarket authorities or the supermarket management wanted to introduce a discount offer based on the sales. Based on the sales, wherein based on the sales, they wanted to introduce some discount offer. Okay, they wanted to introduce some discount offer. They wanted to introduce some discount offer. So for that is something, but introducing this discount offer, they require to, yes guys, they require to know what is the net sales amount for the day. They wanted to know it. So now guys, as a data engineer, what is your job? Your job starts here. First of all, you require to get the data under one roof. That means you have to get these two tables. The table which is there in the system number one, and now the data which is there in the system number 2. You have to get it under the one roof. So whereas guys, what you will do, system number 1 and the system number 2, you will get it here, the data. Whenever you wanted to get this data from the two different systems here, what we do, we perform the process of, what is it guys, data. Yes guys, we perform the process of what, data integration. Okay, we integrate the data. So how do you integrate it? So guys, I'm doing it as it is. Copy this. Okay, I'll write it manually. Product ID and rate. Then you want, what is that? I want the quantity sold, but even the date of sales. Here you have a information like this. Can you see here? 122. 100 is the rate. Quantity sold is 10. Date of sales is today's date, 29/04/2024. 200, 20, 29/04/2024. 143, 20. Rate is what? 300. 300. Yeah. And then you have the 20. Date of sales is 29. Yes. 04 2024. This is the data you have. Okay. Now, guys, that data integration is done now. Next one, what do you have it, guys? Data summarization process. Now tell me, to find out the net sales amount, I want the net sales, only net sales, guys, not the product wise net sales. I want the overall net sales. I want what's that? Overall net sales. Whenever you wanted to find out the net sales amount, so guys, what you will do, out of all these, we will shortlist the data. That is called as what? We perform the process of what? Extraction. So under the process of extraction, so we will choose how many columns do we require it in the process. What is that? Out of all these columns, guys, so I want the net sales amount. So I don't require the product ID here, because I don't want the product wise. I want the total net sales amount. So I want the rate, and then I want the quantity sold. Then I want the date of sales. That's it. Okay. I want these three. Okay. What's that? I want these three. So now I'm taking up these three. I'm taking the same. That's it, guys. The second data, the second row. Here is the data, guys. Everything is fine now. Okay. Rate, quantity sold, and date of sales is ready. Everything. Now, guys, then you have to perform the extraction is done now. Out of all the 4 columns, I've extracted only 3 columns data. Now the process of transformation starts. So in the process of transformation, we will perform some arithmetic calculations here. How? Let us see here. Okay. When the rate, I'm directly performing the calculations, guys. When the product rate is 100 rupees and quantity sold is 10 pieces, what would be the amount you will have it? Tell me now. 100 into 10. That is called as what? 1000. And then you have what's that? 200 into 20 means what? 4000. 300 into 20 means what? 6000. That's it, guys. This is the data you have. Now finally, guys, you will perform, once the data is extracted, you will perform the process of loading. How do you load the data? We perform the loading like this, everyone. So here we write it here, guys, everyone. I'm writing it. Net sales amount and then date of sales. That's it, guys. So what is the net sales amount you have it? Now, guys, 1000 plus 4000 plus 6000, 10, 11,000. So I can say the net sales amount is what? 11,000. And the date of sales is what? 29/04/2024. Now, can you see here, guys, everyone? So this is the total data you have it. That means the whole detailed data we have transformed into what's that? The whole detailed data we have transformed into what's that? This shortcut. So if you get this data like this, so based on this data, it will be easy for the user to define what would be the net sales amount. So I can say the net sales amount is 11,000 on the date called what is that? 29/04/2024. So based on this data or based on this report, this management of the supermarket will introduce a discount offer. Okay. So here in this process, what we have done? We've done the data integration, we've done the data summarization, and the data visualization also. So whereas, guys, visualization is nothing but basically comparative study, where we perform the comparative study between two different situations. Okay. And then we take a decision. That is called as what? Indirectly, it is called as what? Analysis as well. Okay. Indirectly, it is called as what? Analysis as well. Okay. So whereas this all process, guys, we can do it by using the Azure Databricks. You can do it by using what's that? Azure Databricks. So Azure Databricks is nothing but we use the process or we use the Azure Databricks to perform the following. What is that? Data migration, data integration, data summarization, and as well as the data visualization. All this process we can perform it by using the Azure Databricks. So Azure Databricks is one of the service, guys. We can say it is one of the service of the Azure. It is one of the service of what's that? Azure. Okay, it is one of the service of what? Azure. Apart from the ADB, okay, guys, it's called it ADB. We have the service called what? ADF is there. Then we have the service called what? Synapse is also there. And then we have what's that? Now the latest introduced one that is called as Fabric. And then you have the right now the OpenAI. All these are the various services we have it, guys. So whereas the ADB is considered as the most strongest part of the whole. Okay. Whereas using the ADF also, we can do the same task, except the visualization, we can perform all these tasks. But the ADF is totally the graphical based. That means you will not have to write any code. You will not be ready something, but you need not write any code. Everything is okay, graphic based. That is called as what? So that is called as a graphical user interface, GUI. And now the ADB, by using the ADB, we can perform it the same task for which we use the PySpark. We use what? The flavor of PySpark. That means PySpark is nothing but PySpark. We use what's that? PySpark. PySpark is nothing but what? The combination of the flavor of Python with the Spark is called as what? PySpark. So we are going to use the PySpark coding to perform the same task. That is the data migration, data integration, data summarization, and as well as the data visualization process. That's it. Okay. So here in this course, basically the duration of this course is 45 days, guys. The duration of this course is 45 days. 45 days. And the next one, apart from this, when we talk about this, the duration, 45 days and the timings, every day you will have the class at 7 o'clock, 7 to 8. This will be your standard timings. Okay. This will be the standard timings for this. Okay. 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock would be the standard timings for us to have it. So every day you'll have 1 hour class, and the classes will be from Monday to Friday, guys. Saturdays and Sundays you will not be having the classes. Okay. Generally you won't have it. If any classes missed, then we'll take up on Saturdays as well. Okay. During the weekdays time. That's it. So about uh, guys, when it comes to this, my experience. So I have around 10 years of IT experience, and when it comes to the cloud technologies, so I have 4 years on the cloud. Prior to that, I worked on the various technologies and on-premises environments. Okay, that's it, guys, about myself. And the contents brochure, everything you can find it on the web page, where you can see. Okay, on the online DurgaSoft, you can find it out there. The whole contents brochure, what are covered in this. Okay, so that's it, guys, for the day now. If you have any doubt, you can go ahead and ask me, please.
Sir, is this course sufficient to prepare for any kind of certification?
Yeah, that is enough. Basically, if you want the certification called DP203, this is enough.
Sir, obviously we are here to get this knowledge on this and get the job of with respect to ADB or ADF. So how will be the data? I mean, openings for this ADB and PySpark? Or do we need to learn ADF as well, or ADB PySpark is enough to get into the job, or with 3 to 4
Basically,
years?
see, yeah, basically, ADF is not needed.
Okay.
Without the ADF also, you can do it. ADF is only basically in the real-time implementation part, what you have it. Some companies, what they are doing it, just for the, this data integration process or accessing of data, they're using the ADF. And the whole actual process of data summarization, visualization, and all this, they're doing it on the PySpark. That is simple using the ADB. See, ADB is more powerful than the ADF. Okay, so that's the reason why most of the openings, if you have it, you cannot get a job only on ADF, but you can get a job only on ADB. That is the advantage of the ADB you have it.
Okay, sir, got it. So, I mean, we don't have previous experience on this. So, after completion of course, how many years of experience we can put? I mean, if
At
frankly,
least,
this.
at least, at least, at least, at least, 3 years you can put up.
Okay, okay. Hope you will cover like real-time scenarios and practice.
Yes, obviously, the real-time scenarios and practice sessions every day. We will have one case study every day. Based on that case study only, we are going to see it. It's a kind of, the real-time implementation thing only we'll have it. Okay.
Okay. Hope you will help in like resume projects and resume creation.
Yeah, that is common. That's I'll do it.
Okay, sir. Okay, thanks a lot. That's it from me.
Hi, sir. Are we going to cover the basics of Python in this?
See, basics of Python, generally, the very basic I'll tell you on this. Okay. But mostly we will be focusing on the PySpark only.
Okay. So I think we have to learn Python also for this, including with this course.
Yeah, but like when you talk about this, the prerequisites, you should know. It's better to know the that is Python. Even if you don't know the Python, you can do the coding, because the basic commands will be almost all same Python commands only.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions? Okay, guys, that's it for the day now. So we'll start up the session tomorrow at 7 a.m.
So
Okay.
do we have any assignments or something like for practice?
Yeah, I'll give you.
Okay.
On a daily basis, I will give you. You can do that. That's not a problem.
So we can use SQL as well, right? In place of Python.
Definitely, you can use SQL as well.
Oh,
And we can use the Databricks on SQL, PySpark, Python, Spark, okay, Scala. All these are the languages you can use it. But mostly we are using PySpark. PySpark is the one which we are using.
But so where the backend data is Oracle or some SQL server, then we can use a SQL or we can go for a
We can use
Python.
a SQL. We can use a SQL. Then we can convert that SQL code into the PySpark as well.
Okay.
Okay. So that's it, guys, for the day now.
Sir, is there any model in which we can integrate Snowflake with Databricks?
Definitely. Yes,
We
definitely.
are going to do that.
We are going to see the practical of that.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you, guys. I'm ending the class. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir.
So we'll meet tomorrow morning, 7 a.m.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.